but it was worth it to provide health care for millions. That's courage. Now she's running for Congress again to protect Obamacare, battle drug companies, and to take on Trump and ICE. The courage to fight. Democrat Melissa Bean for Congress. ECW is responsible for the content of this act.
Pay the price.
I don't think that there's any real benefit beyond initial jobs, initial construction jobs, for the long-term effects we're going to suffer.
Another data center controversy, this time in Joliet. Here are the concerns from the community.
You know, we've been in the neighborhood for 34 years as family, collectively, and yeah, it's the first time something of this degree happens.
And a rash of robberies hit multiple businesses, including a local pizza shop. The search for the suspect now underway.
Let's take a live look outside right now. The rain will not go away as there is a chance for severe storms tomorrow. We're tracking what to expect.
Live from Chicago, this is Fox 32 News at 9.
Thank you for joining us at 9. I'm Dawn Hasbrook.
And I'm Leslie Marino. Let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Emily Walls for a first check of your forecast. Hey, Emily.
Hey, that's right. So we are tracking severe thunderstorms being possible tomorrow. But before we can even get there, we also have a dense fog advisory to let you know about. So for those of you that are in central and northern Cook County, same thing for Lake County. We have a dense fog advisory lasting until 6 a.m. tomorrow. So this is going to be impacting your Friday morning commute. It's just been dropped from Lake and Porter in northwest Indiana. But for those of you in LaPorte County, the dense fog advisory has actually just been added until 9 a.m. So if you're hugging the lakefront or your commute's going to take you that way tomorrow, just be aware that it could be impacting your Friday morning commute. Now let's shift gears here and talk about storms. So we have ongoing severe thunderstorms well to our west and our southwest, especially where you're seeing that slight and enhanced risk. This is the same storm system that's going to be bringing us the chance of strong to severe thunderstorms tomorrow. So the Storm Prediction Center has the worst of it likely being off to our south and our west, but I still think that we have the chance of isolated severe thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon and evening. I'll have the timing as well as the hazards coming up in just a bit.
Thank you, Emily. 6 businesses were hit in a string of overnight burglaries across several neighborhoods in the south and southwest side.
Police say it all happened in just a couple of hours and thieves got away with thousands of dollars. I spoke to the owner of a pizza shop who captured it all on camera.
Shocking, you know.
Angelo's Stuffed Pizza has been a staple in the Archer Heights community for over 30 years now.
It's the first time something of this degree happens.
This Wednesday, a group of thieves broke in, stealing thousands of dollars and leaving behind thousands more in damages.
There's damage to our property, our tables, our tile. The video surveillance shows that they were just throwing things and, you know, running around, jumping over counters.
His cameras captured the men breaking the glass of his front door, jumping over the counter to get the registers. They even searched the kitchen and downstairs to the basement.
But they took our registers. They took some cameras that we use for our photos for our social media, laptops. They were able to get downstairs into the office, broke some doors, and took some money from the safe there.
Police say this was a coordinated smash and grab spree that unfolded early Wednesday morning between 2:30 and 4:30 a.m. 4 suspects went from neighborhood to neighborhood, breaking the glass doors and windows of businesses to get inside.
At the end of the day, I'm a father. My family works here, so their safety is my priority as well. So, you know, it's frustrating. It's not something that makes us feel good, and we want to be able to put an end to this.
No one is in custody as of this evening. Police are looking for a black Infiniti sedan that was used as the getaway car. They're urging nearby businesses to check their cameras and report anything that looks suspicious.
So we hear about it a lot. So what's being done?
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. You know, as you mentioned, has this business for 30 years now. It's a family business, so they've seen a lot. They've been through a lot. They actually just met with their alderperson earlier this afternoon, right before we interviewed them, and they are working on having some sort of meeting, not just with their local leaders, but with other businesses as well. 6 businesses in this area were also hit, so they're trying to figure out if they need to see more police officers out there, if this has to be something about, more surveillance cameras in the area. But yeah, it's really unfortunate because he was talking to me about how, this is another hit, the pandemic. And then Archer Heights is community predominantly Hispanic, so they were also hit hard when ICE was in the area. They had to close. People weren't coming out, so they've been really struggling, and now this happened.
What has the community's reaction been, the residents who live around there? Yeah,
they've actually been really supportive of his business, and they've been calling. He is closed right now, but he's planning on opening Friday. But yeah, they've been showering him with support on social media as well. If you check social media, they've been just checking in on them and asking if there's anything that they can do to help. But yeah, they've been rallying around and helping them.
That's good. Thanks.
All right, Joliet residents are sounding off about a proposed data center in their city.
The development will be the largest one in the state, and it is dividing the city. Joni Lum is live at the Joliet City Hall with the latest. Joni.
Dawn, Leslie, council chambers was packed for this meeting. There were multiple overflow rooms, hundreds of people at the start of it. They are still testifying, the public, and this began at 4 p.m. Joliet residents want to be heard on this data center project, even if they know that it likely will be built here.
Joliet has a generational opportunity in front of it to attract a major long-term investment that can create jobs, strengthen the tax base, and signal that Joliet is open for responsible growth.
These are mega rich people. They're not here doing charitable acts for us. They're not coming from Virginia. They're not coming from Texas because they love Joliet. I'm here because I love Joliet, and I don't want our utility bills to go up.
Hundreds of residents packed the Joliet City Hall to be seen and heard, many holding signs reading, "No data center." Many from the construction industry showed their support for building the massive data center, the biggest in the state. The data center would be built on 795 acres of farmland on Joliet's east side. It would require large amounts of water for cooling and electricity to power the digital storage and AI functions that would operate inside. Developers have talked to Google, Amazon, and Meta about becoming customers, but there are no agreements yet. Already, utility bills are going up all over the state. Joliet families who live nearby are concerned about the impact of a growing industry that uses large amounts of local resources.
I would like to see in writing, I would like to see, if there's a water shortage, that it's covered, that we're protected. If there is going to be a huge electricity increase, I'd like to see that the data center pays for that.
Nobody wants to see this in their backyard. Nobody wants to have to deal with the consequences or the negative effects of having one of these in their area.
After hearing from everyone tonight, the Plan Commission will vote on whether to recommend approval of the data center project. Then it would go on to the full city council. They're scheduled to vote on March 16th. Dawn, Leslie.
All right, Joni, is Joliet considering establishing regulations like we report Aurora is doing?
A lot of people here called for that. They want Joliet and their elected officials to establish some kind of guidelines. Joliet is saying that they are negotiating some things like fees and limits on water usage, and they put all of this on their webpage so that the community can see. They say transparency is their priority.
All right, Joni Lum, thank you.
Kristi Noem is out as Department of Homeland Security Secretary.
The strong words from the Illinois governor vowing to keep her accountable for her actions. And the deadline is approaching for the Chicago Transit Authority to come up with a new safety plan. That's next. Fox Local. Safety is an issue for the CTA. We've seen people get lit on fire on the L, to multiple stabbings happening on platforms.
The agency is 2 weeks away from reaching its deadline with the federal government. It's either come up with a new safety plan or risk losing $50 million.
Repaganski shows you why there are questions about what the CTA will submit and what the federal government is looking for.
You know what, to be honest, not that safe.
Depending on who you ask.
There's a lot of homeless there.
CTA riders have an opinion about safety.
You can't predict crime, so it's basically don't put too much on your plate.
Doors open on the left. And new security protocols.
It's actually gotten a little better.
Your safety is important.
In December, the CTA added 120 Chicago police officers to patrol trains and buses, as well as adding private security guards and canines.
The state and the city ought to be investing both in prevention, intervention, and enforcement tools.
This is a red line train to 63rd and Ashland.
But last December, the Federal Transit Authority said that plan wasn't good enough and didn't address how the CTA would set monthly reductions on assaults over the next 6 months.
And if they can develop such a plan that through their submission reduces month on month, significantly reduces assaults against workers and riders, then the action of withholding dollars may not be necessary.
I reached out to the CTA for an on-camera interview with the interim president, and a spokesperson told us they wouldn't be doing any on-camera interviews, but they told me that they would be submitting a new safety plan to the federal government within the time frame given to them, which is March 19th. Well, what's in the plan? We still don't know.
I think more police presence is okay. A lot of young people are not afraid of the police. We have to understand that this is the world we're living in right now.
Tio Hardiman is the executive director of Violence Interrupters, where he and his group ride CTA trains and buses and de-escalate potentially violent situations. And he told me about one incident.
It's like this one guy gave me a switchblade one time on the train. He reluctantly gave me the switchblade, but he gave it to me.
As we wait to see the new plan from the CTA, Hardman feels it's going to take much more than just adding officers on trains and buses to make it a safer CTA. What is your proposed solution to help make the CTA a safer place coming up on that deadline?
We perform community outreach services on the trains. Since December, like you just mentioned, we actually have worked with about a good 30 to 40 individuals that board the train. Some of the people have drug problems. Some of the people were homeless. It would be an honor to complement the services on CTA, help keep passengers safe, and with the city of Chicago.
Doors open on the left.
Brett Pagansky, Fox Chicago.
All right, let's get an update on the forecast. Take a look at this video of the fog downtown. You can't see the top of the skyscrapers because it's so dense. Chief Meteorologist Emily Walls joins us now. Are we out of the fog, Emily?
We're not out of the fog. In fact, we actually just had another dense fog advisory that was just issued for Lake and Porter County. So you were out of that advisory for about 5 minutes.
Okay.
And then added right back to it. So let's take a look at the map here. We have dense fog advisories now for every county that is hugging the lakefront. So in Lake and Cook County in northeastern Illinois, this is going to last through 6 a.m. tomorrow. Now all of northwest Indiana has also been added to that too. This even includes Newton and Jasper counties until 6 a.m. tomorrow. In LaPorte County, it's actually expected to last until 9 a.m. So for those of you that have a Friday morning commute to make, just plan ahead that you could be running into some delays because of dense fog. Remember, dense fog is defined as a quarter mile or less, and that is now what we're seeing in some parts of the area, especially at the Chicago lakefront and then rounding the lake into northwest Indiana. Your temperatures right now ranging from 30s in Waukegan to low 40s at the Chicago lakefront, 44 in Gary. We're still at 53 degrees in Rensselaer. It's 53 degrees also in Joliet and 48 in Aurora. So temperatures are very mild out there this evening, and we're only dropping down to the low 40s tonight. And then through the day tomorrow, we have a couple rounds of showers and thunderstorms that we're watching for. I have the clock stopped here around 7 a.m. A lot of us are going to cruise through that morning commute with the exception of that fog that I was just mentioning. But then mid to late morning through early afternoon, we're going to have showers, couple thunderstorms. Again, some of those may end up becoming strong or severe. So we're going to have to track those very closely. And if they do indeed become severe, at this point, it looks like damaging wind gusts are going to be the primary concern. Your 5-day forecast, 70 degrees tomorrow. So yes, we have the stormy weather, but it's going to be very, very warm. 64 and falling temperatures on Saturday. Rain ends in the morning. After that, the rest of your weekend will be nice and sunny. Back to you.
Thank you, Emily. All right, Kristi Noem is now looking for a new job. The president fired the former Homeland Security secretary. This comes 2 days after lawmakers grilled her on Capitol Hill. Both Republicans and Democrats were critical of her actions, including Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker. He said that while she might be gone from office, she will still be held accountable for her actions, especially in his state.
Hey, Kristi Noem, don't let the door hit you on the way out. Here's your legacy. Corruption and chaos, parents and children tear-gassed, moms and nurses, U.S. citizens getting shot in the face. Now that you're gone, don't think you get to just walk away. I guarantee you, you will still be held accountable.
Illinois Democratic U.S. Senator Dick Durbin posted to social media about the news, saying, quote, "Our country expressed outrage. She repeatedly lied before Congress, and even the president finally conceded she was unfit for the job." The president is nominating Oklahoma Senator Mark Wayne Mullen to take Noem's place. The change takes effect at the end of the month.
On the south side tonight, a group of tenants near the Obama Presidential Center say they are being pushed out.
Terrence Lee explains why these residents refuse to leave.
About 20 families live at Cheney Bragg's apartments on 65th Street, near where the Obama Presidential Center is going up. Most have called Woodlawn home for decades.
Whole city! Our city! Whole city! Our city! Whole city! Our city!
Now, according to court records, they've received word their building could be sold, and not to anyone local. The new buyer residents say is from California, offering $2,000 if tenants move out.
Now that the Obama Center is coming, all of these new buyers want to come in and they want to take over the land that has already been here and kick out the people that have been here.
Hell no, we ain't gonna go.
I want to be able to stay. I want to be able to let my daughter stay here, and I want her to grow up in the same building I grew up in.
The tenants formed a union, they clean, they do repairs, and they're asking for a chance to stay.
When I say tenant, you say tenant.
The property has unpaid fines and code violations, which could affect the sale. If it goes through, rents could climb from $700 to $800 to as much as $1,350. The building is required to offer low-income housing until 2032, but residents worry they still won't be able to afford it.
It's kind of sad to see how money could be such a strong factor to swoop in and knock people off of their feet. People who have been here helping maintain this very space. This is the foundation of what used to be a strong non-for-profit community organization meant for affordable housing.
The Obama Foundation says it's working to help Southsiders. Tenants hope that means they won't be pushed out.
We are living in a time where people who have been here for 20, 30, 40 years are now being told that they have to leave because because the neighborhood is improving.
The courts will decide if the sale goes through and who owns the building. As of now, there is no public timeline for a final decision. While they wait, tenants say they plan to keep organizing and hope the future of their community includes them. Terrence Lee, Fox Chicago.
The youth take the spotlight tonight. The Boys and Girls Clubs of Chicago hosting their Youth of the Year celebration. 5 remarkable Chicago teens nominated for their work and community. We'll keep it right here.
More ahead on the news at 9.
Debate over AI in the classroom. A new elementary school opening in Chicago relies on artificial intelligence. What it could mean for the future of teaching.
As the AI landscape continues to evolve, it's not just changing the workplace, it's also reshaping how kids learn.
And now schools are grappling with how and whether to incorporate the technology into the classroom. Casey Cronus has the latest.
Integrating AI into schools is raising questions about accuracy, privacy, and traditional learning. Proponents say it's the way of the future, but critics argue it could hinder critical thinking and social development. As AI takes a seat in class, educators, parents, and experts are debating its benefits and risks. In Lakeshore East, the former GEMS Academy will soon be home to Alpha School for grades pre-K through 8. Launched in Texas in 2014, the private school replaces traditional teachers with human guides and AI tutors.
Our AI tutor is able to very precisely pinpoint where a student is academically and then help put them into the lessons that are at their pace and their level and coach them.
The school already operates in other cities, including Austin and Miami. The model focuses on 2 hours of education per day, taught by AI. The rest of the day shifts into life skills and leadership workshops, financial literacy courses, and physical activity.
I think a lot of people are nervous and wary about what artificial intelligence looks like in education, and the Alpha model is really showing that artificial intelligence is allowing us to raise human intelligence both academically, but also by providing more time for that human connection.
The approach comes with a hefty price tag. In Chicago, tuition will cost $55,000 a year when it opens this fall. Using AI in schools is not without controversy. An associate professor of college education at DePaul University explains why.
In these schools, it's the computer that's delivering the instruction. The computer does not think without AI is thinking. No, it's not. It's algorithm. Those providers are claiming that these allow very instant feedback and adaptive system to adapt to individual kids' needs. But the problem, as we all know, AI models still have serious problems. So these teaching materials, they are not necessarily accurate.
He also fears that what we see today could have negative effects on public education.
And in the long term, how this information, how these instructional methods being deployed as pushed by corporation, that could become a bigger concern. And that is happening in higher education.
Professor Anqi Chang, who you just heard from, also says he can imagine a world where the roles are reversed, with AI becoming the cheaper option and in-person education the more expensive choice. Reporting in Lakeshore East, Casey Cronus, Fox Chicago.
Speaking of technology, Apple is launching a new laptop.
It's most affordable ever. How much it could cost.
This is new.
The oversight Illinois needs.
Bears wide receiver DJ Moore on the move to the Buffalo Bills in a trade. Our sports team breaks down why this could be a good move for the team.
A wet end to the week. There's a chance for severe weather tomorrow. We're tracking what to expect, so let's head over to Chief Meteorologist Emily Walls for a quick check of our forecast. A lot of people might be outside tomorrow for Reverend Jackson's funeral, among other things. So, Emily, I know the fog you were saying is still here, but what about the rain? We had talked about that and the temperatures.
Yeah, so we're stuck with showers in the forecast again tomorrow. We're going to see a couple rounds coming through. The first round could be impacting folks that are hoping to head out to that funeral because it's going to be mid to late morning hours that we start to see that moving through the Chicagoland area. And a couple of our thunderstorms could actually end up becoming strong or severe. So we really have to watch those closely going into tomorrow. The Storm Prediction Center putting a slight risk for all locations that you see here highlighted in yellow. That is a level 2 out of 5 on the severe storm risk scale. Marginal risk in green, that's a level 1 of 5. So isolated to scattered severe thunderstorms could be possible tomorrow. Damaging wind gusts are going to be the primary concern. Now the warmth, that's going to stick around. Tomorrow's high temperature is near 70, and then we're going to spend the weekend in the 60s.
So the fact that they were able to get a two is amazing. Are the Bears going to end this week with both Tyler Linderbaum and Max Crosby? It's crazy.
The Chicago Bears making moves before free agency. They sent wide receiver DJ Moore and their 5th-round pick in this year's draft to the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, the trade is shaking up the Chicago Bears ahead of free agency. In return, they will get a 2nd-round pick for the upcoming draft. Our sports team from Chicago Sports Tonight breaks down why the Bears got in return and why the move could be good in the end.
All right, this is kind of an underwhelming move for the Bills, who really need a number 1 type of receiver. To me, DJ Moore is not a number 1 receiver, and I think Chicago fans have seen this play out throughout the years, especially last year when there were so many low-effort type of plays. He was essentially relegated to a number 3 type of role. With that contract, getting paid that much money, I think the Bears are ecstatic to be able to trade that contract away, and not only trade him away, but get a 2nd-round pick, which is extremely valuable in today's day and age. So I think this gets an A+ for Ryan Poles getting this move done and getting that contract off the books.
All right, back here on CST, Tina, Cassie, Carmen, and The Score's Matt Spiegel now joining us in studio, fresh off his show with Lawrence Holmes. They're on The Score. You just heard from senior NFL writer for The Athletic, Ted Winder. You can watch the full interview on our YouTube page. Speaks, how about the Bears getting back a 2nd-round pick for DJ Moore? Your thoughts?
It is a home run in terms of the assets that you were able to send away and bring back. You got all that money off the books, and you got a 2? A 2? I know you had to give up a 5, but you got a 2. That means there was competition out there for DJ Moore. Or Joe Brady was really excited to have that reunion. I love what Ted Wynn had to say. I think he's right. DJ's not quite a full-on number 1. He's a great effort player. He's a badass. He's emotional. He's fun. He leaves a really good legacy in Chicago. But this is a terrific move by Ryan Poles.
But he emerges as wide receiver 1 in Buffalo because they're not huge fans of Keon Coleman, Khalil Shakir, Curtis Samuel. Like, none of those have played out. And since they traded away, I'm blanking on his name, Stephon Diggs. He hasn't had a true number 1, Josh Allen.
But it's a different system. It's Brady's system that has a lot more room for the kind of loose playmaking that DJ Moore fits best and that Josh Allen, frankly, fits best. So it might be great there. This is going to be the challenge for Bears fans. Let's say DJ Moore has 1,500 yards and 17 touchdowns, and they go to the AFC Championship game. Do not freak out. Understand that the NFL is a puzzle. In a salary cap league, you got to figure out, can you afford $26 million for a guy like DJ Moore? And the answer is no. So the fact that they were able to get a two is amazing. You can't pay a guy $26 million when he's one of 3 wide receivers who had around 650 yards for this team. He's one of 4 wide receivers who had 60 or more targets for this team. That's not a guy you could pay $26 million to.
We got to meme that at some point for 2.
A 2?
For 2 there. That was good.
Seriously.
Carmen, do you agree with what Ted said about DJ Moore? Okay.
I honestly do, because, and you look at it, and he said Bears fans probably saw this play out. We did, because at at the end of the season, who would you have said was the best? Was Caleb Williams trusted receiver, #1 receiver? The answer wasn't DJ Moore. And if that's the case, I'm with you, Speaks. He goes to a system that he's very familiar with and a guy that is familiar with him and his game. And he's always been productive. That's been kind of DJ Moore's superpower, right? Is no matter who's throwing him the ball, and that played out in Carolina very, very well, he is going to be productive for you. Can he be the only one that's productive for you? That's the question. That's a question now for the Buffalo Bills. That was never an issue here in Chicago because you had some other guys in that room that could step up and complement each other in different ways. There was a little redundancy with DJ Moore, I think, but now that he goes to Buffalo, I'm very interested to see if they're not done adding to that room, because at this point, I don't know that the relationship with Keon Coleman is anything that can be salvaged. Can you depend on those two as your top 2 wide receivers? I don't know. Even with the congruency with the scheme and everything like that, and Joe Brady, I'm wondering if Buffalo is done, or if they're going to go after one of those true X receivers that we want Rome Odunze to be, the guys that can go up and get the 50-50 balls, that can play on the outside, that are a little bit more physical, a little bit bigger. Are they going to go out and get a guy like that? Because if they do, great. If they don't, I'm weary.
So I don't think the Bears need the prototypical X receiver in this offense. I don't think that's really what Ben Johnson's all about. I think this offense is designed for Caleb Williams to throw the ball to the open guy, whoever that is. And it's a much more
schemed open.
But it's a much more egalitarian approach of like, find the open guy, throw it to him. And with that means you don't pay a #1 wide receiver this kind of money. It's a very short list of who you do that for. I know I heard you guys talking in the first segment. I think the player that benefits the most from DJ Moore's absence is Luther Burden. These kind of designer targets, like the shallow screen or the tunnel screen or these kind of things where DJ Moore just getting the ball in space. That's all going to be Luther Burden now, and he is built for that.
How do you feel about the wide receiver room without DJ Moore? And everyone's saying he was a luxury in that wide receiver room, but now if it's just Rome Odunze, who has yet to prove himself as wide receiver 1, and Luther Burden, and maybe they bring back a cheaper receiver like Olamide Zaccheaus, do you feel confident in that room?
Well, that room is very incomplete. They're now the 30th most expensive wide receiver room in the NFL at just $12 million. They're going to draft one that Ben loves. They're going to sign a free agent, one that Ben loves. And then we'll see what happens from there. Are we so sure he loves Rome Odunze? No, frankly. So we'll find out. I like Rome. I think Caleb loves Rome, and hopefully that will work and click. But my money's on Burden and Loveland, and somebody who's not here to be the 3 biggest targets in this offense within a couple of years.
This draft class does have depth when it comes to defensive ends and wide receiver. The Bears have now cleared up $26.5 million in cap space this week alone, as you had Drew Dahlman there. His son in retirement clears up $10 million for them. Speaks. Is Max Crosby going to be a Chicago Bear? Let's get to this conversation now.
It's such an exciting moment. This is a day, your center just retired, and you just traded your wide receiver. And the Bears could end up better than they are this coming year because everything's on the table. Max Crosby's on the table. Tyler Linderbaum, the #1 center in free agency, is on the table because of the money you have now cleared up. And both of those things could happen. And like Carmi, you know this, like some of the national NFL most plugged in people are thinking, are the Bears going to end this week with both Tyler Linderbaum and Max Crosby? It's crazy.
It's interesting. And I'm probably not the person to talk to about this, though, because I'm looking at this team, right? And I'm looking at what they want their identity to be under Ben Johnson, the second year under Ben Johnson. As someone who followed him very closely in Detroit and followed his offense, there's one thing that was told to me over and over again about Ben Johnson by staffers that were on his staff when he first came to Chicago. They're like, if nothing else, Ben's going to score some points. And if Ben is going to score some points, which he's proved in the first year had a chance to evolve, a chance to get better, for him to add to this offense, before all is said and done, this could be a 30-point per game average team. I think that's almost a certainty at this point. And if that's the case, then the way that you allocate and the way that you build this team, and as a daughter of Chicago, I'm shocked to hear myself say this, invest in the offense. You can get by with an average to good defense, one that only gives up 24 points a game, because if you're scoring 28 to 30 points a game offensively, then pour your resources into that side of the ball when you have, and don't mortgage the future for perhaps one of these elite pass rushers. I see your face.
I got to push back because
let's hear it.
with the pass rusher, you finish games. You go ahead and you get that lead, and then you unleash the hounds, and Max Crosby goes and finishes a game by getting the sack and the turnover, and you have a 2-year window of Caleb Williams on the rookie contract with the quarterbacks, and I think you can get both. I think this is a time.
You think you can get Linderbaum and Max Crosby?
I do.
For as expensive as Linderbaum is about to be, how he's going to set the market.
Plus?
I think you could extend Cole Kmet. I think you could go with a rookie at left tackle. I think you could go with DeMarco Jackson and another rookie at the linebacker spot. Yes, hopefully Kevin Byard, but everywhere else is going to be cheap. It's going to be an imperfect roster, but such is the salary cap NFL.
I would love, trust me, if we could get both, if the Bears could get both, absolutely, get both. But my priority at this point is replacing Drew Dahlman, replacing what he means to this offense, because that engine does not go unless you have a veteran, smart, intelligent center that can work with Caleb Williams and operate this offense. You don't want to cut Caleb Williams' improvement and all of the stuff that he was able to gain this year. You don't want to cut that off at the knees. Literally, when you have him under center, under a center, and so I really think that whatever it takes to get Tyler Linderbaum, Speaks, I'm with you. You can afford a rookie at left tackle. You can keep whatever you have in house is okay at left tackle. If all the 4 other positions along the offensive line are solidified, you can afford to gamble with that position a little bit more like they did this year. But what you cannot afford to do is gamble with that center position. So whatever it takes, Tyler Linderbaum, guys.
The new episode for Chicago Sports Tonight is out now. It's available on all our digital platforms. Watch on our YouTube page and stream on Fox Local. Artificial intelligence is growing fast.
How Amazon is using it to help doctors and nurses.
Anita Blanton here, and next on the Chicago Report, Friends of the Parks weighs in on the Psi Quantum campus for the South Side. Now, we also know that sports betting industry is spending big in the Illinois primaries. Plus, the Fulton Market Association is addressing that reconstruction on Grand Avenue. You'll hear about all of that and more coming up next on the Chicago Report.
Stream. Ad.
While stocks drop on Wall Street, tech giant Apple introduces a new and cheaper laptop.
David Osmond has more on this and other business headlines.
Markets finished lower for your Thursday. All three major indices red across the board. The Dow is the worst performer of the day, closing at more than 1.5% lower. Well, tech giant Apple has launched its most affordable laptop ever. The new model, called MacBook Neo, features a 13-inch display and weighs in at 2.7 pounds. It'll be available in colors like indigo, blush, citrus, and silver. Unlike other MacBook models, the Neo uses Apple's A18 Pro chip, the same processor that powers the iPhone. And here's the kicker. You get all that for a price that starts at $599 or $49.91 a month over 12 months. The MacBook Neo will officially be available on March 11th. Pharmaceutical firm Eli Lilly has launched a new program designed to help more employers cover obesity drugs. The platform, called Employer Connect, gives companies more flexibility in how they provide coverage for obesity treatments. The goal is to expand employee access to the medications at lower out-of-pocket costs, while also helping limit expenses for employers. Through the program, companies can pay a net discounted price of $499 per month for a new multi-dose form of Zepbound across all dose levels. And Amazon is launching new AI tools for medical practices. Amazon Connect Health can generate notes from live conversations between doctors and patients, add billing, symptoms, and procedure codes, and summarize health data from existing medical records. The platform is also designed to help patients verify their identity with healthcare providers and schedule and manage appointments. That's business. I'm David Asman.
All right, keep it right here.
Another check of your forecast straight ahead.
Of Illinois.
Let's get an update on that forecast. So we're not yet out of the fog,
No.
but the temps
It's going to
feel
get
pretty
warmer,
good.
though. Yeah, it's getting a lot warmer. And temperatures even out there this evening, not bad at all. A lot of us are in the 40s, the 50s. But guess what? Tomorrow, those 70s that we've been advertising for a few days is possible. And the record high temperature for tomorrow at O'Hare is 70 degrees. That was set back in 2000. And I think we're going to make it there tomorrow. So I'm planning on at least tying that record high temperature that we have for March 6th. The dense fog alerts for you. We have a dense fog advisory that has now been issued for all of Northwest Indiana, lasting until 6 a.m., with the exception being LaPorte County, that's going to last until 9 a.m. And then in central and northern Cook County, as well as Lake County, Illinois, kind of same deal here. It's until 6 a.m. tomorrow. So for those of you early birds, you could be dealing with dense fog during your Friday morning commute. Make sure you're planning accordingly. And then we're turning all of our attention over to the storm potential tomorrow. So the Storm Prediction Center actually has a good chunk of the area in a slight risk. That's a level 2 of 5, meaning scattered severe thunderstorms are going to be possible. And then the south suburbs, Chicago included in this, up toward Evanston, and then rounding the lake into Northwest Indiana, in a marginal risk. That's a level 1 of 5, meaning isolated severe storms are possible. So there's going to be a couple rounds. First round is going to come in with this warm front. So as that begins to lift to the north into the region early tomorrow morning, it's going to be bringing in some of those storms. And again, some of those may end up becoming strong or severe, but I think the more likely scenario for any strong or severe thunderstorms would be anything that can develop during the afternoon or the early evening hours, because we're going to have all of that heat to work with following that warm front. So your temperatures, they're actually expected to warm up to near 70 degrees. Cold front's going to come through, and then that's going to result in falling temperatures for your Saturday. We actually wake up in the 60s, but I think we're going to drop into the 50s during the afternoon. Good news, though, we get back to seeing some sunshine. And the majority of this upcoming weekend, it does look like it's going to stay dry. So your 7-day forecast, 70 degrees tomorrow, 64, chance of rain Saturday morning. After that, drying out, sunshine for the rest of the weekend. And we're back up to near 70 early next week. Let's get a check of your weather pick of the day. Loving this one. Gorgeous sunset. This was, I believe, taken in Downers Grove by the alias Sunrose. Back to you.
Beautiful. Thanks, Emily. New year, new love. Time to ditch the apps and get active.
How sports and physical activities are helping singles connect. Plus, get ready for the return of the World Baseball Classic to Fox. Team USA takes on Team Brazil tomorrow in their first game. You can watch it right here on Fox Chicago starting at 7 p.m.
I'm Neil Coate, and I approve this message.
All right, time to check out what's trending right now.
Now, if one of your New Year's resolutions is to find love, a new study says sports and physical activities are becoming the top ways for singles to meet people. Running clubs were always popular for scoring dates, but that has morphed into signing up for all kinds of sports. Experts say sharing an activity makes connections feel more natural, no swiping required. Plus, even if sparks don't fly, at least you still get a workout. I like this.
I don't know.
You don't?
No, classic girl, dinner, drinks, all that. No.
I don't even know what that would be like anymore.
Yeah. To just meet up with people?
Yeah. I mean, I met my husband at work, and I don't know how I would date now. Yeah, it would be so weird.
Let's dive into that. You met him at, no, I'm just kidding.
I met him at work.
I'm kidding. No, but I think that what they're basically saying is you kind of have to get out there.
Yeah.
So you have to get out there, join groups, don't just hide behind the phone and the computer. And there are other ways to meet people.
Much easier, but
kind of going back to the way things used to be.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, well, there is a new officer patrolling the rough streets of Virginia, Minnesota. Meet Cash, who has become the new canine officer for the Virginia Police Department. Cash specializes in tactical crumb detection. What a coincidence. High-speed pursuits at short distances, ankle-level intimidation, and barking at suspicious activities. No word on his official duties with the department. Sounds like my dog.
Yeah.
Barks at suspicious activity, which is every little sound.
Yeah, a little quirky, though. He's cute.
Yeah, he's cute.
All right, speaking of cute, take a look. The river otter at the Brookfield Zoo, Chicago, had some fun today. The zoo posting this cute video of Charlotte to social media. It shows her playing and tumbling in the snow, and the snow helps provide extra enrichment for Charlotte and lets her investigate how it feels and smells. I don't know about you guys, but I'm done feeling and smelling snow.
Fast. She just glides through there.
So what you're saying is we ought to get over there and
we
see her?
ought to, yeah.
Okay.
You and your animals. You'll learn, Leslie. She's so good at like animal puns. She's quick.
Should we move on? Is that what you're suggesting?
Yeah, we
My
shall.
jokes. We'll be right back with one final check of the forecast with Emily.
Best mom jokes.